The English really seem to know how to build and create excitement around a great rivalry. So Saturday night we have a great fight card, and I'm going to turn it over now to Mr. Eddie Hearn to tell you all about it.
Thank you, David, and we of course echo those thoughts. It's always difficult for the sport of boxing when a tragedy like this happens, and having only met Patrick Day once last Thursday and spoke to him for probably 30 seconds, I can see why the response that we've seen over the last 24 hours or less has been so. He was a guy that didn't need to box, but loved the sport of boxing. And everybody involved in the sport, we can never get complacent. We must always try and make it a better place, a safer place, and we must always respect fighters, always respect anybody that steps into the ring. Sometimes as fans, I think we take the whole sport for granted. We've got to always remember the sacrifices that people make, and we all love the sport. We know that fighters love the sport, but like I said, we must always keep evolving and make sure that people like Patrick Day, who had such a positive effect on the community where he lived and everybody in the sport, that his name continues to shine brightly over these next few years. So our thoughts are with him and the family, his training team, his management, his promoter Lou DiBella, and everybody that's been so badly affected by this loss. As David said, Patrick loved the sport, and we love the sport, and on Saturday night, we have an incredible night of boxing in Newcastle. I think the great thing about this city is you feel the passion for the sport of boxing, just like we all do. And I think coming up here on the train today, you know when you've got a great event when probably, and no disrespect if I get the age wrong, but maybe a late 60s lady who was doing the tea cart come up to me, she says, "Oh, I can't wait for the fights on Saturday." And that really represents your city, because that shows you that when a big event like this comes together, you're all there to support. And we're very proud of this card. We have the last tickets that have been put on back on sale from any returning tickets from the fighters. I think it's like 20 or something like that. It is going to be a complete sellout at the arena on Saturday. The atmosphere is going to be absolutely fantastic. And so many important fights from the top of the bill down to the bottom of the bill for all these fighters on the cards. Opportunities to make professional debuts, opportunities to go and try and challenge for world titles next year, opportunities to walk out in front of your crazy army of fans if you're the Benwell Bomber in Joe Laws. John Doherty coming through to continue his KO streak. Kieron Conway looking for another shot at the British title. Lawrence Aseki, chance for him to try and move on and fight for British titles. Martin Bakole trying to keep making statements in the heavyweight division. And two brilliant fights topping the bill. Firstly, you got Scott Fitzgerald trying to take the British title away from Ted Cheeseman. I think these two fighters, and you know when you've got a great fight because you go backwards and forwards, you can debate it. It's all the questions are going to be answered. The win from Scott Fitzgerald over Anthony Fowler was huge for his career. Ted Cheeseman, been slung into the deep end, had it real tough, come through, battled away, learned so much. But like I said, it's the questions. You know, will Ted Cheeseman be able to stand up to the firepower of Scott Fitzgerald? Can Scott Fitzgerald live at the pace that Ted Cheeseman will set in this fight? There's nothing quite like a 50-50 British title fight, and that's what we've got as chief support on the card. The main fight is breathtaking. Lewis Ritson, Robbie Davies Jr, an official eliminator for the WBA world title. Again, it's all the questions, isn't it? Does Lewis Ritson have the same power at 140? Can Robbie Davies stand up to that power? Can Lewis Ritson deal with the skill of Robbie Davies Jr? Can Robbie Davies Jr deal with the atmosphere? Okay, well you answered that. Well, we'll see on Saturday night. But do you know a great thing about this show as well is we haven't just got 9,000 Geordies in the house. We got 1,000 Scousers. We got 800 people from Preston. We got 300 or 400 coming up from Bermondsey as well. The atmosphere for boxing on Saturday is going to be brilliant. So when I introduce everybody up here today, firstly we're going to respect everybody by giving them a big round of applause, and then we're going to listen to them, and we're going to get very excited for a great show on Saturday night. Firstly, these kind of situations really excite me because this is the start of a journey. And ladies and gentlemen, on Saturday night, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but I believe the first ever female fighter from Newcastle will debut on Saturday night at the arena. Ladies and gentlemen, April Hunter. April, welcome, soaking it all up. We saw you at the workout last night.
Yeah,
it all starts for you on Saturday.
It's just surreal, isn't it? Making me debut in my hometown in front of 9,000 people. It's like, it hasn't even sunk in just yet, but I just want to go out there, perform, stick to me boxing, and who knows where the future could lead.
Amazing time for women's boxing. Obviously, Savannah next year on the verge of fighting for her own world title. Saw Jessica McCaskill fight last week, Katie Taylor involved in some of the biggest fights of the sport, Serrano, Clarissa Shields, Breakhouse. It's all there right now for women boxers.
It's amazing. Like, Savannah's led the way, obviously, for the North East boxers, and I just hope that we pioneer for more girls to get into the sport, and then hopefully the depth of boxing can grow even more.
Thank you, April. Look forward to your professional debut on Saturday. Someone that's already made her way in women's boxing with a stellar amateur career with a GB team and making her North East debut remarkably on Saturday night. Ladies and gentlemen, Savannah Marshall. Savannah, about time you boxed in the North East. Looking forward to getting out there and fighting in Newcastle.
Yeah, 100%. It's been over 10 years since I last boxed in the North East in Hartlepool, so I'm over the moon to be back home, so to speak, and for a chance for me to box in front of all my home fans, not far for them to travel, so I'm really excited.
I think one of the tough things in your division is getting the opponents outside of the world champions. I think actually you got a great fight on Saturday night, someone that's boxed basically all the top girls. I think it's the toughest fight of your career.
Yeah, it is definitely. She's strong southpaw. She's got a really good jab. She knows how to move, and she's tough as well. She's durable. She's never been stopped, and she's had twice as many fights as what I've had. So I'm expecting a really tough fight on Saturday.
Look forward to seeing you in action, Savannah Marshall. A young light middleweight who had a brilliant fight, stepping in at fairly short notice against Ted Cheeseman for the British title earlier this year. Ladies and gentlemen, Kieron Conway. Kieron back in action, first fight officially with us after that brilliant fight with Ted. Obviously looking forward to getting a good 8 rounds in the bag and probably coming out and watching these two go at it as well.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. It's an amazing city for boxing. It's going to be an amazing atmosphere. Really looking forward to putting on a show and getting back on the big table at the back and in some big fights.
Obviously, you will be watching carefully the main event. Don't want to put the co-main event. Don't want to put you on the spot. But who's going to win?
I don't know. But I will be watching closely. To me, it doesn't matter who's going to win. I do want another shot at the British title. I do believe it doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter who wins. I'll win the British title too.
Good man. We look forward to seeing you back in action on Saturday night. Heavyweight division, red hot. Martin Bacoli is one of those guys I believe will be looking for world title shots in 2020. Again, a great opponent at last minute in Kevin Kingpin Johnson. He's en route. It arrives in about 2 hours' time. I haven't forgotten you. Don't worry about it, Joe. No. Don't worry, Joe. I'll save you till a bit later. Martin, obviously good opponent, good last-minute opponent. If you can get him out of there inside 8 rounds, you've done a great job. I think AJ is one of the only few that's done that in the last few years. But looking forward to boxing in Newcastle. We know your trainer and manager, Billy Nelson, knows this city well. It's going to be a great atmosphere.
Yeah, thank you. Firstly, I want to thank you for all this opportunity and thank my coach, Billy there. I'm looking forward, like I always say, I'm being in this boxing to be a champion, so I'm looking forward to box anyone who's going to face me. So I'm looking forward for Saturday night to face a big man.
What do you do in that situation? Because obviously he likes to fiddle around. He likes to make sure he'll take you the distance. We saw him take Dubois the full distance as well. Do you have to get him out of there? I mean, that's what everybody wants, right? That's got to be the aim.
Yeah. You know, heavyweight is not like a flyweight, so everyone wants to see a knockout. But the big man is he don't know how to box, but he can take punches. He have a nice defense. But I'll stand there on top on him. If he stand, then I'll punish him badly if he stand. But if he doesn't have a heart, he will give up. Or his corner, they will throw the tower to stop the punishment.
I'm not sure if we gave you a round of applause. Martin Bacoli, everybody. This next fight, again, I know we've got some great fights on the card, but I'm really, really excited about this fight. Lawrence Oseki against Ricky Summers. Ricky Summers is about an hour and a half away as well. So Lawrence Oseki has a real opportunity here. With the growth of boxing in the Northeast, we need people like Savannah Marshall. We need people like April Hunter. We need Joe Laws to keep on winning. And Lawrence Oseki has a brilliant, brilliant chance to win this eliminator for the British light heavyweight title. It's miles above anywhere he's operated before against Ricky Summers, who is a really, really good domestic light heavyweight. So to speak now, big round of applause please for Lawrence Oseki. Lawrence, this is it now. This is the crunch time. This is where the career starts to get really exciting.
Yeah, thank you very much again for the opportunity to perform on such a great stage. Thank you to my trainer, Nick Gittis, who's given me an excellent camp and we've worked really hard and more than prepared. And again, Stevie Wraith, who forget me these opportunities. Just finally got my main sponsor here, UK Collection, who's kind of made it possible for me to basically train the way I need to prepare for this fight.
I hope you give him a few more quid for that as well. By the way, yeah. There you go, UK Collection.
Yeah, and just I'm just really looking forward to putting on a good performance and hopefully on to the next stage of eventually fighting for the British title.
How are you going to handle the atmosphere? We know you boxed at the arena before. This time you're deep on the card, you're live on Sky Sports, obviously a much tougher test. Difficult to stay calm, you know you've got huge support, you're going to have the whole arena behind you.
Yeah.
Going to be some atmosphere.
Well, I mean, I've been boxing for like 12 years now, so end of the day it's just another ring really, and once you get in there, you don't hear the crowd, it's kind of just down to you and the opponent in front of you, so it's just another day in the office for me.
Look forward to Lawrence Oseki against Ricky Summers, eliminator for the British light heavyweight title. Now, a young man that has just, I've never seen anything like his last ring walk. I'm not talking about the one at the arena, I'm talking about the one of his last fight. Some bloke rapping him out who I've never heard of. I think he had his shirt off, he was jumping up and... That's the one, yeah, something like that. And he's a real character. But he can fight, and he's very, very excited. And if he keeps on winning, he's going to be selling this place out on his own very, very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, the Benwell Bomber, Joe Laws. Thanks, Joe. We'll wish you the best for Saturday night. Joe, you've got the Gucci hat on. You've sold a huge amount of tickets again. You got a tough fight on Saturday, by the way. I've looked at your opponent. It's a proper step up, but feeling good, feeling ready, and I bet you can't wait again for this crazy atmosphere on Saturday.
I'm back. I've got a very, very tough fight. He's from Africa. He's had like 20 fights, won 16, knocked out 14. But what better way to test myself at the arena in front of my fans, my support. 9,000 people of boxing fans, and I'm coming fighting. Win, lose or draw, I'm coming swinging, and I'm winning Saturday night. Trust us.
Same question for you as Lawrence. You're going to be deep on the card. You're going to be on TV again. Again, that ring walk last time was great. Important, obviously. You know, we know that you can play the joker sometimes as well. But now getting really serious in your career, you can't afford any slip-ups on Saturday. You've got to be super focused for this fight.
Yeah, I am. I do. I've got to stick to the game plan. I've had a very good camp with me trainer Nick Gittis, and I'm getting the job done. I'm going to stay focused in there, and like Lawrence was saying, as soon as you get in the ring, it's just in our ring. I've been boxing about 10 years now, so I'm going to keep myself cool, composed, but I'm getting the job done Saturday.
Joe, we look forward to seeing you in action on Saturday night, mate. This fight, brilliant fight. The British light middleweight, or they call it now the super welterweight, we'll call it light middleweight. British title fight, brilliant fight. Scott Fitzgerald against Ted Cheeseman. You can debate this fight all day long, and I think still there's people arguing about who's going to win this fight. I think it's a great fight. Huge support coming up from London, huge support coming from Preston as well. Firstly, the reigning WBA international light middleweight champion and challenger for the British title, Scott Fitzgerald.
Cheers, Eddie. Yeah, I'm buzzing for this fight. It's the opportunity I've been after since turning pro, and Ted's the champion. He's got my respect, but I feel I'm better than him in every department, and whatever he brings, I'll have an answer for.
We've seen such a calm Scott Fitzgerald in this camp. Obviously, in the Fowler fight, you got the nickname of the Madman because I think he was just winding you up, and you know you were getting really in that situation. But you seem like there's a new maturity about Scott Fitzgerald. You must have learned a huge amount from not just the fight, but also the build-up of that last event.
Yeah, I definitely did, and you know, it was a good performance. I got the win, but I feel I actually burnt up a lot of energy before that fight, and I was, you know, I come down with illness, you know, bits of illness before it and stuff. So I've stayed calm, focused all my energy into my training, and making sure I peak perfectly on the night.
I know that again, crazy support coming from Preston. It's 3 hours away, 2.5 hours away from Preston, and the amount of tickets that you've done is incredible. And I was talking to your manager Steve Wood the other day, and there's a real feel that you have an entire city behind you in Preston, similar to, you know, we're talking about Carl Frampton in Belfast, and Lewis Ritson in Newcastle, and Josh Warrington in Leeds. Things could get really, really excited with victory on Saturday. And congratulations as well on the birth of your son.
Oh yeah,
everything's in play now.
Cheers, Eddie. Yeah,
it's a massive chance.
Extra thing to fight for that, and the lads in Preston love it, and I could have done more than the 800 I have done if I'd been able to get my hands on them. But you know, I only got a certain amount of tickets. I also had a lot of people online after tickets, like social media and stuff. You know, it's hard to sort. Didn't know how to go about it, to be honest. But I've made sure I got all the people who always come sorted, and they'll be there and they'll be noisy. So I thrive off that as well, and I look forward to feeling this atmosphere in Newcastle, which I've heard a lot about.
Thanks, Scott. Look forward to a great fight. This man, again, at such a young age, has been in great fights after great fights. Won the British title against Darren Byfield, stepped straight in against Sergio Garcia, challenging from the European title, come back, defended his British title again, and now goes straight back into another 50-50 fight in the Newcastle arena on Saturday night. Ladies and gentlemen, the current reigning British light middleweight champion, Ted Cheeseman. Ted, again, I've got to say, a big air of confidence from you in this fight as well. You and Scott both feel that you've got the goods to win, and both know that it's going to be a very tough fight on Saturday.
Yeah, Scott's a really good fighter. I think everyone's flattered him really from his win against Fowler. What people don't realise, I'm still unbeaten at domestic level. I still put on some really good performance in domestic level, and obviously things ain't gone the way it should have been the last couple of fights, but I've built up a lot of experience. I'm still only 24 years old, and I'm in unbelievable shape. I'm mentally very strong at the moment. Everything's going really well. I've had a great camp, and there's one thing for sure, I'll be there from the first bell to the last bell, the 12th round, giving everything.
Obviously, people debating this fight, people talking about the power of Scott Fitzgerald, people have talked about the work rate and fitness of Ted Cheeseman. We're going to have to see something different in this fight other than the work rate of Ted Cheeseman, something that everybody knows you've got. But a lot of people talking that you're going to show something different in this fight on Saturday night. Yeah,
look, you're going to see the best Ted Cheeseman there's been so far as a pro. Everything's gone perfect. I've made my weight well. I've been recovering well. I've been getting all my massages properly. All the rest recovery and the training's gone really well. And I'm just really excited for Saturday, because when you're at the top, everyone jumps on the bandwagon. When you're going down, the wheels fall off. And then when I win again Saturday, it's going to prove, you're going to see everyone try and jump back on the bandwagon. But it takes a really good fighter to come from the lows and go back to the top once you've been so at a high stage. And I'm still only a baby, and I'm just so looking forward to Saturday night now.
Thank you, Ted and Fitz, two absolute fighters in the prime right now. Great training camps, mentally and physically on point for the British Light Middleweight Championship on Saturday night. Now the main event, this is another breathtaking 50-50 domestic clash, and I think the more I've been thinking about this fight over the last couple of weeks, we all know that next week we have another brilliant light welterweight clash at the O2. Regis Progress against Josh Taylor for the unified light welterweight championships of the world, the Ring Magazine title on the belt there. For me, the winner of this fight is a natural fight for the winner of that fight next week. I think the opportunities for the winner of this fight are huge. Both huge ticket sellers, big crowd coming from Liverpool. Obviously, Lewis again, phenomenal support from the city of Newcastle. I believe that the winner of this fight will go on and challenge for a world title next, and I think it's such a huge opportunity for them. There is no champion in challenger in this fight, but as it is Davies Ritson, I'm going to flip it round this time, and I'm going to start with Robbie Davies up here. 1 British titles, 1 European titles. He is going to have his own support on Saturday night. There's probably not that many of them in here today, but of course we'll give him the respect because he's come, if you like, into the Lion's Den. The former British, undefeated British and former undefeated as a European champion, Robbie Davies Jr. Robbie, I guess these are the nights you want as a fighter. You know, huge opportunities, huge atmospheres, huge audiences around the world. Just a couple of days away from your chance to shine on Saturday.
These are the nights as a boxer that you dream of all your life, to be main event on Sky Sports in such a big arena, packed out crowd. I can't be anything more than excited. I know it's going to be hostile. I don't want to say too much in case there's a few here that start jumping down my throat. But it's definitely going to be a night to remember, and I honestly can't wait. I've prepared myself physically best I possibly could, and also like mentally is something what has always let doubters creep in on me. This is something what I've worked on a lot this camp, and I feel mentally and physically stronger than I ever have done going into this fight.
I've seen your social media, and I've seen that sort of mental edge from you in this camp. You seem to have been really focused on, you know, obviously your training, but your messaging, almost like Zen-like focus into this performance. We know that you're meticulous in your preparation in terms of your boxing and your nutrition, but have you been working particularly mentally on the focus in this fight? And it's something you're going to have to be on Saturday, is very mentally strong.
It's more because I'm coming up to the Lion's Den. It's going to be hostile, and I know my mental situation has got to be a lot stronger for a fight like this. I've got to stick to the game plan. I can't let the crowd, whether it be for Lewis or whether it be for me, get inside my head and make me come off my game plan. So it's been something me and my team have focused on. Brought new people into the team to help me focus on things like that, and I just believe I'm visualising the win already, and it's put me in a good frame of mind before I've even stepped into the ring. And everyone knows my nutrition and my physical, everything to do with my boxing is always 100% anyway, so that's no different from any other fight. But I just think this mental edge what I've got now is going to be enough to see the win on Saturday night.
We know that you're a boxing fan and a boxing man, and very intelligent about the game. When people are debating this fight, they're talking about the power of Lewis Ritson, the boxing skills of Robbie Davies, and how they're going to gel. But you believe as well, I know, and your team believe you have the power as well to hurt Lewis Ritson on Saturday night.
Yeah, because of some of my last performance at a higher level, things haven't went the way we've planned, and people are forgetting that I can punch as well. So people are more or less saying it's either Lewis the puncher or me the boxer. But I think it's discrediting myself for the power what I do have. Like when I was starting out, when I was going through all the local people who everyone fights, I was knocking them all out in one round, and then as I moved up in level, I started taking a few more rounds to knock them out. It was only in my last 2 fights, when with Matchroom, that I've been more back foot boxing, and everyone's all of a sudden thought, oh, we can't punch anymore, he's just a back foot boxer. So I think it's discrediting myself to say that I can't punch. I know that that if I land on anyone and if I land clean, I can knock them out. But we're going to be following a game plan on Saturday night, and I think it'll be enough to get the win.
What's the game plan?
Text you on Sunday, you know.
Okay. the reason we're here, we have to say, I mean, the reason we came back to Newcastle after years and years is because of Lewis Ritson, and the reason that we're here bringing this event to Newcastle is because of Lewis Ritson. I think he's a credit to the city in that you'll see him bobbing around anywhere up and down the high street. He's kept his team very, very tight, obviously with Neil Fannin and Phil Jeffries as well, done a brilliant job, and Davey as well. I think it's a credit how he's kept that local team, that tight-knit team, and this is a massive opportunity for him on Saturday night. Probably one of the biggest ticket sellers and most popular British fighters I've seen in a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, Lewis Ritson. Lewis, again, you've been here before. I remember the first time I went to the arena, I think it was all new for you, a little bit sort of, not starstruck, but, you know, in awe of the arena. This seems like another day in the office for you, but without doubt the most important fight of your career.
Yeah, definitely the most important. I think, you know, Robbie hit the nail on the head mentally for me as well. We're head focused on this, and I think it's going to come down to that. I think me and Robbie were both going to be
a couple of wins, and now you sell this place out. They're behind you more than ever, and they're with you for a massive night on Saturday. The support has been incredible, and the atmosphere will be as well.
No, and I think that's a credit to the North, not just Geordie's, but we've had Geordie's, Matchroom's, people from Hartlepool, they've all come together and they've all supported us. I think, just under 2,000 tickets, could have done a lot more. And I can't wait for Sunday. We're buzzing, and hopefully I can repay the North East back with a good victory.
Same question for you that I asked Robbie, but I'm going to flip it. People talk about your power and his boxing ability. I know you feel like that you've got the boxing ability as well to mix it with Robbie Davies. Do you feel that you're going to have to do that and show that on Saturday, and you feel like you've got the boxing IQ to match him as well?
Yeah, I'm not stupid. You look at Robbie's record, he's got one more knockout than me. He can obviously punch, and we'll be stupid to let the crowd get to a head. A bit like Matera, run out there and try and get him out there and walk onto one. So he's got a game plan, we've got a game plan, and the talking's over really now. It's just for me and Robbie to do our job on Saturday and put on a good fight for everyone watching, and the best man will win.
Thank you to Lewis Ritson and Robbie Davies Jr. It is a brilliant, brilliant fight, as is Fitzgerald against Cheeseman, as is Aseki against Summers, as is Savannah Marshall, as is Martin Bacoli, all these young fighters down here, Joe Lawyers as well. I want to put a particular thank you to the North East, like Lewis said, not just Newcastle, but the North East, because to sell this place out is very, very special. Like I said, about 20 or 30 tickets left now. The atmosphere is going to be absolutely incredible on Saturday night. Make some noise, enjoy yourself, behave yourself. Come down for the weigh-in on Friday, tomorrow at the Metro Centre at 1 p.m. And we look forward to an amazing show. We're going to have the fighters up here who are paired up to do head-to-heads now. And again, we thank you all for your support and coming here today. Thank you very much.